お宅はいい。来い。安心しろ。すぐに終わる。Round 1. Ready, go!
Hey everybody, it's Chanchai, and I'm going to be doing a workshop session with aplusdestination. They've been asking, they've been playing VF again lately and enjoying it. They've been playing for a few years, and they just reached out to me and said they'd like to do some workshops, see what they need to work on. They have this feeling that the type of improvements they need to make are like foundational and the general VF stuff. So let's assess where they're at. And then I do remember that I played with them quite a while back, I thought. But yeah, let's do an assessment, see how it goes. You know, maybe they're much stronger than they think, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and call him right now. Hey there, you doing okay?
Right. Sorry, what'd you say?
All right, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Alright, excellent. So I am streaming already. I've started the stream. I added you on PSN, and
okay.
Yeah, we'll spar a little bit, get an assessment. Feel free to show me anything you want to show me, and then and ask any questions you have, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, sounds good.
But how have you been enjoying Virtua Fighter?
Been rough, but it's pretty cool. The same time, I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah, you've been playing this one a few years on and off, and you've been playing other fighters, right?
Yeah.
Which fighters you've been mostly playing?
I actually play quite a lot.
Excellent.
So it's like Tekken, Street Fighter, even tons of anime fighters, and even some Smash games. I haven't really stayed on one fighter for too long. Even some of the fighters nobody plays, I like check them out and lab them for a few days.
Awesome. Well, I think it's great. You love fighting games. I do too, though I just ended up liking VF too much that I play it mostly just that now. But I do like all the other fighters, and I do play them quite a bit. So,
yeah, see, that's why I wanted to push myself to play this one more, because I still, like, personally, as a personal opinion, I think VF is the most balanced, and with my fighting games, I look for mechanic and balance. Like, I love all fighting games, but I can't say that I would play them all seriously, because some of them are just either too broken for me, or I feel like there isn't an answer for everything. So, like, VF isn't my favorite yet, but that's only because I don't fully understand it. That's just the assumption I've come to, but KOF and Tekken are my favorite.
Awesome. No,
right now, yeah.
Well, I think KOF. I like KOF and Tekken a lot, and like a lot, and I would also say it's definitely true that my bias on Virtua Fighter is that I do believe that it gives you robust options, which is what you were alluding to, and I do find this particular version of Virtua Fighter to be very, very well balanced. Of course, you know, there's always everybody has a chance to fight in the matchup, but for sure there are definitely matchup dynamics that come in. But because the game is more system first, that's a huge part first. And even then, the game is at the highest levels of play. The game is well represented throughout the cast. But that said, but you know, some of it's just like design differences too, and it's not like a knock or saying something is qualitatively better. While I might have that opinion, it's the design matters, right? So a game like King of Fighters has a very strong kind of art, like that's also a system first game, right? And the characters really, like, they kind of fall into kind of classes in a way, where this is this type of a character you want to use, and this is this type, and then there's some adjustment along like how their interactions work there. But like the spacing consideration, the timing consideration, like where the threat's coming from is a really big factor in it, but it plays out in a very system heavy way in King of Fighters.
I really like heavy systems. I think Tekken is the closest thing outside of KOF, because I only got into KOF when 15 came out. And just before 15 came out, I started like preparing for 15. So I was playing like 98 and 02 on Fightcade and just training every day. But the fighting games that allow for the system first, like I'm a big fan of system first fighting games.
Well, and I think those two games are those two series, along with VF, have a very exhilarating pace, I'd like to say. The feeling of rushdown feels really good on both, actually. Tekken 8, of course, is more rushdown than people were used to from a Tekken community, but that element has always existed in Tekken. It's just that it's always been more of a gamble, and that maybe in some previous Tekkens the defensive options were just a little stronger, or like quite a bit stronger. So making a mistake became the differentiator.
The old Tekkens as well, like Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag and 5, and oh man, the sidestepping it feels so great. And then you go back to Tekken 7 and 8, and you're like, oh man,
it's different. Tekken 7 and 8 are very different from each other, just in that department too.
Yeah, it feels better in Tekken 8, but it's still not Tekken 5 or Tekken 6 sidestepping.
That is what I've heard. I've heard a lot about that, I've heard a lot of the people that love the pre-Tekken 7 really love the sidestepping in those games. I don't know it enough. I just know that they really like it, and they felt... I know that the people that detracted on Tekken 7, there was basically like kind of two camps, right? One camp is just the person that actually wasn't going to be the biggest Tekken fan to begin with, right? Which was that, three things. One was that where, okay, Tekken is like rewards defense more, so there's that. But that's not really the person that loved Tekken to begin with as much, unless they just didn't know other options, right? The second group is the people that just really hated the 2D archetype. Like a lot of people really hated that they created 2D archetype.
Funny. I think Akuma is one of the most fun characters I've ever played.
I think it's actually cool. I honestly think the 2D archetype is cool. I think they did interesting stuff with it. So it's just like, okay, this is just a new direction for Tekken. And then the other camp. The third camp, I'm trying to remember. I've lost my train of thought, but there was a third camp I'd seen, just where Tekken 7 wasn't hitting it for them, And I do think it might be the same camp that felt that the sidestepping and certain mechanics they just weren't enjoying it, and they liked Tekken before that a lot more.
Yeah, I think it was for the third camp. Those guys that I hear, they're just not a fan of big combos. Like, I've heard it many times. They don't like the juggle from half screen to wall into Oki. They're not fans of it at all.
I think Tekken has always had a place for that, though. So, I mean, Tekken has always kind of had these interesting combos that you win combat, and it's going to take some time. And of course, there are times when it went out of whack, right? So Tekken 4 is probably when it went the most out of whack, because you had infinite combos in that game. So,
Essentially, yeah.
Because those infinite combos... I mean, to me, I actually think that game is interesting in itself. Maybe not as quote-unquote fun, but it was interesting. But the problem was like the infinite combos. And that's... Some people's worst memories of King of Fighters is also infinite combos, so...
Oh, yeah, back turned and stuff like that, right? Like, the specific... you can really get killed from a lot of that stuff. The traps.
Yeah. So I sent you an invite on PSN. You are on PlayStation Network, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah. I'm not getting any notifications.
All right. Let me see here.
Am I online?
I do see you online here. So I think maybe I sent them to you before you had to accept the friend request.
Yeah, I see it. I got it. There we go.
So let's do some sparring. I set them to first to threes. And with random stage stuff, so you can play any character you like. We'll play a little bit and see what you're feeling, see where you actually are. You know, some people surprise me. Some people bring up these concerns, and they turn out to be really, really strong. And I'm like, hey, I don't know what you're worried about. You know, but
I hope that's the case. I have a visual understanding, but I know that I'm just lacking in the mechanical fundamentals department. It's only it's technically a little bit of the 3D fighter carrying me. I do play the other ones too. I even got into Dead or Alive as well.
All right. Well, we'll see how this goes. Should be good. I like your costume.
Thank you.
I am playing in a way that's very hard, but I am seeing... I think I'm seeing some stuff. We're fine. You have good control, though.
It's because I'm trying to, like, feel out what... I don't fight much lions, so I don't know.
Gotcha. Good. I'm gonna fight for that.
Oh, that's that step. Oh, that's great. Oh, it's my turn.
Round 3.
Alright.
Go.
Very good.
Okay.
So
my timing down.
Yeah, so right now, this fight at the moment is a little too much about timing. By that, it means you're fighting neutral more than you need to.
Okay.
And we'll get into that after this set, but my first assessment is that you're playing neutral a lot, which makes sense because you play a lot of fighters, and most fighters are settled at neutral.
Neutral, yeah.
But right now, Virtua Fighter, Virtua Fighter actually runs on the non-neutral first, and then the neutrals after that.
Okay.
So, for example, I'm going to do like this jab into elbow, right? And there's not much you can do about this. You could evade, but you also know that even if you block this high jab, this elbow is pretty secure. So because of that, you're properly defending. What you're not doing is you're not trying to throw an attack, or you're not trying to respond right away after blocking this elbow, right? And maybe you're afraid of that Leonga does this, okay, right? But this is actually bad. So I'm going to show you the answer to this right away. If I did this elbow punch, I'm punishable. You can PK, P and then punch and then kick straight. Yeah, that. So if you block this this elbow punch, you just PK it right away. And you gotta buffer it, so do it a little before you, do it before your character recovers from that block stun.
From the block,
So do it during the block stun. So go ahead and practice that first, right? Yeah, so that's fine. The reason we do the PK is it's very secure, and this is a good situation, so what you can do is you can do that PK, and then you can either throw or do an elbow right away after that. Okay? So we'll show you that. And then I'll show you what I do after that. So that's guaranteed, and this throws a mix-up. So the throw and the mid are mix-ups.
So the mix-up, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like this, boom, boom, PK. But as you know, you got to do it during the block stun. You can't wait to recover in this game.
Yeah, you can't wait to recover.
Yeah, in this game you need to buffer. So that's my number one advice to you is getting used to the feeling of buffering, which is a different feel.
Pressing before the animations are finished.
Yeah, or before your character is allowed to move. Yeah, so because in this game the buffer room is 12 frames. Like you get like 12 frames of input buffer before your character recovers. So as long as you input like finish inputting your move 12 frames before your character recovers, they will do it like an RPG.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so you want to get used to that in VF. So now that said, this is punishing a bad habit. Normally, if you do this enough, then this Leon should stop doing this, right? This Leon should stop doing the elbow punch. So that's where I should be doing jab elbow, right? So I should be doing
elbow
like this, and then you should go ahead and attack right away, right?
And attack right away.
So right away, let's say do an elbow, right? Like let's say you're seeing, I do this and then do that. Just do an elbow, 6P, right? Forward and punch.
Oh, 6P. Okay. So
yeah.
Oh my bad.
So we called an elbow, even though this is technically it's a backhand, but we call this 6P an elbow because most characters this is an elbow. And
do an elbow.
There's a few common traits. This elbow is really important because it's 14 frames. Most people's jab is 12 frames. So this is only 2 frames slower, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is in a 3D fighter, if you have frame advantage, generally, all things being equal, what's better, the high attack, the mid attack, or the low attack in a 3D fighter?
What's better?
Yeah.
A mid.
The mid, right?
Well, that's just my guess.
Yeah, so the answer is a mid, and the reason is because if you do a high attack, the person can crush it with like a crouching attack, right?
Yeah.
But a mid won't lose that way. And then if you do a low attack, the person can do a hopping attack, right?
Yeah, hopping attack.
But the mid attack doesn't lose that way. so the mid is like, right? you can't cheat this, right? The mid is like, to cheat this, you got to do something very specific, you know?
Yeah.
Right. So that's why this sequence jab elbow is really good. So if you hold guard, right? So for example, jab elbow. Okay. Now technically, I have a fast jab, so I could actually stop you from doing it, but that's a skill check. Only 4 characters, 5 do this. What I'm going to do is this. So do a high jab, like punch, and then guard cancel it. Yeah, like that. So single punch, right? Do like 5 high jabs in a row. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. That one was wrong on the 5th one, but yeah.
Yeah, I have to press guard after the jab, right?
Yeah. And the reason for pressing guard, do you know why we're pressing guard?
To cancel the animation, so you don't
get string. Yeah, so you don't get
strings. Yeah.
And what we're gonna say is Virtua Fighter really makes use of this, that it's a guard button game. It makes use of it not just for blocking. It makes use of it for saying, hey, I don't want to do that string, right?
Yeah.
Right? So I can do this all day, right? And here's the thing, in Virtua Fighter, not that many attacks are plus on block. Not many at all. In fact, generally, yeah, and so jab is one of them. This is +2 on block. Okay, so this is +2 on block, and most jab, now my jab is 11, but 15 out of the 19 characters have a 12 frame jab, okay? And then you have low punch. This is a 12 frame low punch, okay? These are already the 2 most important pokes in the game, but so is elbow. Elbow doesn't have impressive frame stats, but it's a mid, and it's 14 frames, so it's 2 frames slower than the jab. So if you do a high jab and you're +2, now you can do an elbow. We're gonna get back into basics on the rules of VF that's different from Tekken. In Tekken, if 2 people hit each other at the same time, the hits happen. They both literally hit each other at the same time. In Virtua Fighter, the higher damage wins.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to show you. Do a high jab. So, okay, now do a high jab into an elbow, 6P, and then guard cancel that too. Yes, that. Perfect. So now here's the thing. Do high jab, and then do high jab twice. And I'm going to crush your high jab with a low punch, right? This is why high is bad, right?
Yeah, this is why high is bad,
okay.
Yeah.
So now, do a high jab into elbow. See?
Yeah.
Your elbow beat my low punch. They actually hit on the same frame here.
On the same frame.
They hit on the same frame, but the elbow wins because it has more damage than the low punch.
That's crazy.
So this is why. So it's important to understand this concept that you're gonna use your frame advantage so that your attacks literally just stop your opponent from doing a lot. It cuts their options off. That's why the jab elbow is very strong. That's why elbow is strong, right? Elbow is strong because it's a mid. Mid is strong because you can't really crush it unless you really go out of your way to use a very specific thing to crush it.
Okay.
Okay, right? Like, go ahead. Like, for example, do like high jab into low punch. Right? I just crushed it because I did a hop attack. Right? But now do high jab into elbow. Right? Can't crush it.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're in combo state.
And then
so that's kind of bad, right?
Yep. So now you do like high jab twice in a row. And then I like just try it again, right? And I crush it because that's a crouching attack, right? Crouching attack goes under high attack. So then high jab elbow. Right? I can't do that.
Yeah.
This is why like you if your frame advantage gives you a mid, usually one of your very good options, not your only option, but one of your really, really good options is a frame appropriate mid attack. Because then your opponent just can't, do like basically it'll just stop them from attacking you back. It asserts the control of the fact that your attacks should be winning against attack when you have advantage. As long as you're playing frame appropriate. Okay? But then we go to the next step. So when we fought, I was saying that you were prolonging like neutral a lot, and that was because you were just not like responding right away. You were doing like you would just kind of wait, and that makes sense because when you come from other fighting games, you're waiting for when they're really in a bad position.
Yeah,
right?
reaction.
You play like
to what you see.
It's like you play like Street Fighter, and you might go like, oh, he does low punch into uppercut, right? This would be like the equivalent of like low kick into fireball. So you wait for the fireball and then you respond, or you wait till they commit with like a roundhouse, right? Then you like punish them. Right? So when you play most other fighters, you're just waiting for that like really bad thing they do, But in Virtua Fighter, you need to actually be very active. This game is going every 1 to 2 moves you should be doing something, and then the other secret thing is guarding is just one option. Okay. Yeah. So when we sparred, I would do this. And after a while, I realized you're just guarding, right? So then I can just go up and throw you.
Yeah, go up and grab,
But I also just kind of baited. I kind of just let the neutral sit a while, and then I would, like, hit you. And that
and then I would get caught because I'm like, okay, he's doing nothing, let me attack. But then you'd, like, snuff it out and counter it.
Yeah, so the thing that's getting you in Virtua Fighter right now is you are used to the other fighting games. But other fighting games do want you to play with the frame advantage. They do. It's just that those things go by so fast that it's just sometimes it's not as high on mind until someone does something really crazy. But in Virtua Fighter, you need to be like on the ball pretty quick. So for example, let's do another example. We'll make it simpler. This time you're going to block and you're going to respond. Okay? We're going to give you a lot of different things to respond with too. Okay? So like a low punch. We've established that high punch, low punch, elbow are kind of the fundamental stuff, they're like really important in this game, but they're not everything, and Jackie has some good stuff against them, so but it's good to point out why. Okay. With Jackie you might miss this fundamental that generally low punch will beat a lot of strings, and the reason you might miss it is that go ahead and with Jackie do punch punch punch. This string is a high, but then that third punch is what we call an EX high.
Yeah, EX high.
Okay. Now an EX high is like a high, except that I cannot counter. I cannot like crush it.
Oh.
If I do a low attack on that third one, if I do a low attack on that third one, it's gonna hit me, and it's not even a mid. So this is confusing for people that don't understand that's what's happening with that move. And so Jackie doesn't feel this effect of like people doing this against him. So if you go ahead and keep doing punch punch punch. I will lose if I try to low punch that. Almost any other string, I will like try kick, right? Or try kick punch kick. I think it's kick punch kick.
Time's up.
Is it kick punch kick? No.
Kick punch.
Try 6 PPK. How about that? Let's try that. Okay.
Okay.
Ready, go.
Okay, good. So keep doing that, right? And I'm just gonna like low punch you because a lot of times in VF, most of the time, like in Tekken, you have to memorize strings. And do you know why you have to memorize strings as a beginner?
Yeah,
because there's lots of mids and lows.
Yeah, lots of mids and lows.
And those lows like kill you. They knock you down. Give them Oki. Those mids will launch you, right? So in Tekken, like it's very scary. So when you learn Tekken, you're like, oh, let me learn all these strings, right? In
Yeah.
Virtua Fighter, I actually tell people you don't need to memorize strings. What you just need to know is that most of the time, when like again, do like 6 PPK, most of the time the second or third attack is gonna be like a high attack that I can just low punch.
Yeah.
Okay. Now those strings do open up later, but they open up when people play a different style of play. But at the beginner level, this like low punch is just really strong right away, right? And then the thing I noticed about you, you have really good instincts. Okay, you are a very responsive player. What do I mean by that? When I interrupt your string, you actually guard. That's awesome. That's what you should do most of the time.
Okay.
What happens, but against me, what happens is I know you're doing that. So then, go ahead and do a string. So I low punch and I throw you.
And then you grab right away, yeah.
And what is the difference? So what are the difference between a throw in Virtua Fighter and a throw in Tekken? Tell me what you've noticed about throws in Virtua Fighter versus throws in Tekken.
Much faster, and
Faster is one. You can't escape it with reaction, right?
you can't escape with reaction now.
And
It
then,
has
have
to
you
be
noticed
like
the difference in damage?
The difference in damage? Yeah, it's much more damage.
Like,
right.
this is almost a combo here, right? Right? And then
Yeah.
this is almost a combo here.
Yeah,
And
that's
now
like
I'm going to
half
show
out,
you.
full wrap.
Now this literally is a combo.
Yeah, that's dangerous, yeah.
Right? So
There isn't
Virtua
much of
Fighter.
that in Tekken.
So in Virtua Fighter, throwing's really important in Virtua Fighter. Now Tekken, low attacks, low mid is your main mix-up, and the thing that usually smooths it out is spacing or techniques that cause people to screw up, to like whiff or get guarded, right?
Yeah.
That's how Tekken functions. Virtua Fighter's a little different. In Virtua Fighter's design, it's paper rock scissor. It's for example, let's rematch and I'll show you. In Virtua Fighter, attacks beat throw unless the throw is guaranteed. Throws happen in 10 frames. That's really fast. But like, let's say you're -8 or -9, okay? And you hit an attack, and I did a throw when I was +8, +9. Like literally +9, I did a throw. It connects on the 10th frame, but if you did an attack, your attack wins in this game.
Yeah. That's what I love about Virtua Fighter. That's kind of why I wanted to play it for
So
the
the-
most part.
Yep.
Tekken has made me hate grabs. Don't get me wrong, I've learned to
No,
deal with them,
yeah.
but it's just, it wasn't fun.
The fun thing is pointing out what people do grabs for in Tekken. So what do you think is the number one reason people, aside, unless they're king, unless they are a
open you
grappler,
up.
what is the number one reason people do throws in Tekken?
For
And
me,
it's not mix up.
personally, it says they can't open you up. It's the last option a lot of the time.
Yeah, but they could still
or it's a
technically-
Hail Mary.
Actually, here's the real. Well, that could be true. At competitive reason, there's one really big reason for it before Tekken 8, right? And the big reason
Okay.
for it is to be on either player 1 or player 2 side. To switch positions.
yeah,
that's the
true.
real reason. Like it's
'cause
like
they know
it's
you're
like I'm
gonna,
better on
like,
player
at a
1
high
side. I
level.
want to get to that side. I'm gonna throw. You know,
Yeah,
and so
that's true.
in my opinion,
Or,
that's funny.
position, right? Position changing. I noticed they do that because even when you break the throw, you switch sides.
Yeah, so that's the whole reason for
Yeah.
doing it, like in Tekken. Like that's like the
Yeah, it's
best
not-
reason to do it. It's really like, and you're like, that's the best reason to throw, you know? But
Yeah, that's
so
pretty crazy.
so like for example, go ahead and block. I'm gonna be like -8 here, okay?
Okay.
And so you go ahead and throw me, right? Yeah, good. Now do like 6-4 throw.
Oh, 6-4 throw. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So forward back throw. Yep, good. Okay. But then I'm -8 when I do this, right? So go ahead and keep doing this. But now attack wins, right? So, right? Because this is not -10. This is not worse than -10. This is so like if you try to throw me, I attack. This is when you launch in
wow.
Virtua Fighter. You launch people when they want to throw you. You condition throwing by simply guarding like a lot. You know? So,
Oh my gosh.
so it's really important to understand this is what VF is decision making right away. And so this attack, if I know you're going to throw me, if I'm super confident you're going to throw me, the attack is actually my defensive option here. Because I'm like, now I could
That's
escape.
kind of crazy.
Let's go over throw escapes because I do have a feeling that I'm not sure if you know how to do the throw escapes. So
It's isn't it forward or back throw? Like regular throw,
So
forward throw, back throw.
yeah, so neutral, forward, or back, and the throw escape is literally the last command of the throw that the opponent's using. So I'm going to use half circle forward throw. So how should you escape? Half circle forward. Forward, right?
Half circle, yeah, forward throw.
And then what's the technique for throwing escape?
Isn't it technique? Isn't it just double tapping?
No. So here's no. So that's previous VF.
Wait,
You're thinking old VF.
Hold on. Yeah, well, I just went through it with them because I was going to learn VF4, and I started asking, and they were explaining
this game is new.
But essentially, you hold the cover neutral, the neutral grab, and then you guess with forward or back, is it?
Nope.
In 5?
No. So this game, so we're talking about the system since 5 Final Showdown, which this game is Final Showdown. Okay? From Virtua Fighter 4 until 5, it's a different system than this game. In this game, so first of all, so you are thinking about the previous VF games. You're thinking that you have to time those. You don't need to time it in this game. And you don't do it by doing throw. So right now, go ahead and press throw and hold it. Okay. So, and right now, if you're holding it, you're escaping neutral throw, right? But here's the problem. Keep holding it. Move the stick around. This is not good. You can't block.
Oh, yeah. You can't block.
Right? And, well, I mean, you can parry, but you can't block, right? So you don't want to do it by pressing throw. What you want to do is press and hold guard first. Now press and hold punch while holding guard. And now, you are throw escaping, and no matter what I do, I cannot do neutral throw for you for this whole round for as long as you're holding this. I can do forward throw. I can do back throw. But you can change it. So press and hold guard, then press and hold punch. So in this game, you should never just be guarding. You should be guarding, and you should be doing one of two things. One of those things, the default should be that you should be holding a throw escape whenever you guard. Forward, neutral, or back. Okay? You should always be doing that when you guard. Or, what do you think the second thing might be? If you're not doing a throw escape while you're holding a guard, what do you think you should be doing while you're guarding instead? And I'll tell you the answer is to buffer your next move. So unless you're buffering your next move, right? For example, try this. You're doing 6-6K, right? Do 6-6K with Jackie.
6-6K?
Yep, like that, right? Forward kick, right? And notice how you've got your dash there, right? Okay. Now hold guard, and then just So hold guard, and see, you can do that, and you can just let go, and then hit kick, right?
That's kind of crazy.
Right?
No running animation.
So you got to understand that you can that when you're blocking, you can totally input your next move, right? So for example, I'm gonna do low punch, then I'm gonna dash low punch. What I want you to do, I want you to block the first low punch, and right away buffer when this thing touches your knee. When this first one touches your knee, I want you to then let go of guard and hit, or you can let go of guard and press punch and kick same time, or you can input a motion for your next move. But I would do punch and kick same time. Punch and kick at the same time. Try it. Punch and kick same time. Together.
Same time. Okay.
So we're introducing you to the beat knuckle. Yeah. So we're introducing you to the beat knuckle.
The beat knuckle, yeah. Definitely one of the moves I see a lot when I watch.
It is. It's arguably the best whiff punisher in the game. Because when it hits somebody that's recovering from an attack, it launches.
Yeah, it does, yeah. So you don't do the follow-up for it?
Well, the follow-up to do, if you know you're going to launch, you shouldn't, then you should do punch, yeah. So beat knuckle punch, yeah, that. So for example, I'm a low punch master. Block the first one and beat knuckle the second one. There you go.
Oh wow! How minus is the low?
So this low punch is -5.
Oh.
And that beat knuckle, if I remember, is about 15 frames. And because it's 15 frames, you only need +3. Right? There you go. So now do beat knuckle punch, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can combo off of it.
Yeah. So what you should be doing is you're looking for this. This guy, I'm doing this. You can just block the low punch and do a beat knuckle right away. Right? Now, if you're feeling slow, like let's say you're not feeling well today, you're feeling kind of slow, a little like maybe laggy because online, but maybe laggy because you just woke up. All right.
Yeah.
So the first thing you should do when somebody's doing this thing, the first thing you do is just do an elbow. You block it and do a 6B. Yeah. Okay. And this is a standard answer. When somebody's doing this to you, standard answer. If you fight against the training mode AI and you set to level 5, it will go up and do like low punch mashing against you, and that's because it's trying to train you to do this. And then when you're like, you know what, I've been sharp today, I'm going to do beat knuckle now, which is actually easier to do than forward punch. But generally I'm just saying this elbow is a pretty solid one, and I'll tell you what to do with that elbow when you get this. So here's the cool thing. So I want you to do elbow, guard cancel, and then do a high punch. And this is not a good option, it's just to illustrate something for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to low punch you multiple times. So you're going to block and do the thing I just told you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yep.
Oh, it didn't come out.
Yep.
Oops.
You'll get used to the timing. The problem is that when you get the counter hit, your the stun is bigger than the 12 frame buffer window. So if you mash, like now you gotta wait just a little, just like maybe 3 frames, 4 frames, 5 frames, but you gotta wait just a moment, just a split second before you hit, so that you're within so that you can hit that buffer window. There is a good thing about it though. There is a technique. So like there's a technique like Leon has this, right? And I can actually time it in a way where I'm inputting low punch uppercut. This is advanced stuff, and I don't expect you to do this right now. I just want to show you that it exists in the game, that's all. And it's not broken, but there is an attack option select where I can do low punch uppercut. And what will happen is, because if you block it, the block stun is a decent amount. And so because of that, like I can input it fast enough to where on block stun, I won't do the uppercut. But if I hit you normally, then I do the uppercut. So, because of that 12 frame buffer window. So for example, like it's like this, like you can hear the sound, you can hear me double tap, but there's no uppercut coming out. That one's still, right? So like this, right? Now it's like, let me hit you on the next one, okay? So you see how it's actually working anytime? That one was slow, right? Yeah. But as long as I hit you, it'll happen. Yeah. And then if you block it,
it'll happen.
Right, then this was, I didn't do the timing right, but yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah, it's not coming out.
Yeah. So there is that. Now, I don't want to overemphasize that, because if you play only that way, if you don't learn the fundamental way to play it and you're not reacting with each moment, that does set you back a bit. And there is a way to punish people that are doing option selects and only option selects. So
and only option selects, yeah.
Yeah, like option selects are punishable. They're just it's more advanced. But I just want you to be aware that they exist in this game, and they do make this game pretty fun. There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of cool option selects in this game. When you understand the system itself, it becomes easier to imagine how those things work and why you can do it that way. But they're not necessary to win. Most of the time, I am just literally reacting one by one on the moves, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, when I throw this low punch, I am trying to hit confirm it, but at the same time, I am trying to look for clues. So like if I saw you about to attack, then I might think it's going to be a counter hit, right? So like I throw this, right? And so that's like usually how I react in this game. And I don't expect you to be able to do that now, but I want you to understand this is actually how a lot of the high level players are playing. They're kind of like they're making a really good prediction on the hit before it actually happens, based on what they're seeing the opponent do while they're attacking. Because in 3D fighters, the attacks are way slower than 2D fighters, right?
Yeah, way slower.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear that way when you're getting murdered, though.
But
mixing you up.
So the attacks execution are slower, but the stuns are different. In 3D fighters, a lot of times the stuns I think seems to be smaller than in the, or at least relative to the execution. the stun is less, right? But in like 2D fighters, I think the stun's pretty big, and that's why you can usually hit confirm very certain things, right? You're like, oh, that was a big hit stun. Now I can do the combo, right?
Yeah.
So those are fundamental things about VF, and I think you're starting to see that in VF we're playing in this 1 to 2 move space a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the basics first. When you get to higher level, you do see strings become very good. And the reason is because now the opponent, being used to the 1 to 2 move flow, now starts to react to the situation, starts attacking into the situation, knowing how they're going to attack somebody that's just poking, right? But then suddenly now you do delay strings in this game. You start doing string like punch, 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 and they were like walking into it because they're trying to react. They're like, oh, he didn't do anything. I hit a button and then you counter hit him.
Yeah.
So strings become stronger later in this game. They're strong at the very introductory level, but then they quickly lose at intermediate level, right? So, right. But then later on, you can play like at this stupid pace here, like this, right? You know, and somebody that's trying to react is going to suddenly, you know, like ooh ooh ooh, and then gets hit by each of these hits, right?
Yeah.
So this becomes stronger at higher level, but at intermediate level it's very weak because intermediate level is I see a string, I low punch, except for Jackie's punch punch punch. You know?
Yeah, that's pretty
right. So the correct answer for Jackie is actually the beginner answer. Go ahead is to like duck under the third one and wait for him to punch and then with punish it. So like, you know, like
Time's up.
good. Keep doing it and I'll show you.
Round 2.
okay.
Ready, go.
That's kind of hard.
Right? If I do too early, that's the problem. So I gotta wait until that thing like whiffs and then hit you during the recovery, right?
Which also seems kind of hard.
But this is actually what I'm supposed to do. But this is actually hard because, yeah, like this. This is the correct way. But this was too slow, so I gotta respawn, right? That was too slow again, right? Right? But the easy way is basically low punch that knee.
Yeah,
so it's like wait for that third punch to miss and then low punch him and then attack him, you know. And then and then the next step for the beginner is basically to like do a PK.
Yeah, PK or grab.
Yeah, grab is actually extremely good for it. So yeah, doing something like, you know, right, like this, you know.
Right away, they realize they missed.
Yep. So, but the beginner won't know why Jackie is winning this PPP if the opponent keeps doing low punch like this, right? So yeah, is this making sense to you about how Virtua Fighter is kind of functioning, or why you might have had trouble?
It does make sense, but this seems like I'm learning a whole new fighting game over again. And that's crazy because I've put at least I put 70 hours into this game already. It feels like I've learned nothing.
Oh, you've learned a lot, but you've realized. But I'm showing you exactly why. What was giving you trouble, right?
Yeah.
So
essentially.
So let's go ahead and spar with that. I'll try to keep it relatively simple, but let's see you figure out this pacing. And the stuff that I'm teaching you today, all stuff you can do when you spar against the AI. It's really good for this, actually.
Oh, I thought I crouch dashed.
But you're realizing like how fast these decisions are being made, right? I'm going to show you when I like throw you, it's going to scare you after a while, right? And then you're going to be kind of like you might actually feel like you got a mash simply because of the throwing, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the trick I can tell you though. A good panic button. So sometimes when you get experience, you start to go, oh, I know. Like you can feel when your opponent wants to throw you, right? There's going to be moments where you feel that. So in this game, it's good to have a panic button for it. Now, technically, Jackie's a panic button should be a normal hit launcher. Not a recovery hit launcher, not a counter hit launcher. Because it's hard to counter hit a throw when the throw is faster than the attack, right? But try like 6K.
6K is what I was thinking.
Yeah, 6K is a really good one. So like let's say I'm going to show you something. Like let's say you're guarding, and like let's say I like do this and then like throw you, okay? So you can see that little dash in there. So try to 6K me out of that. There you go.
Oh wow.
Right?
He, like, in Tekken, that's just not stuff that we do.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Right. Because what you do is use the beat knuckle. If you want to play Tekken, use the beat knuckle, right?
Yeah, use the beat knuckle.
So the beat knuckle is like you can backdash into a beat knuckle, right? So for example, do you like a low punch? Okay, so low punch backdash, and then beat knuckle. Yeah. So like for example, I'll do this. See?
Oh no!
Right? This is like playing Tekken. Now I'm going to show you the weakness to this, but I just want you to understand. First off, let's establish the backdash in this game is actually effective. But
it is actually, I can host.
So it's actually a good backdash, right? Now let's talk about what's the problem with the backdash in this game. The backdash in this game is effective, but it is risky.
You can't block. You can't block.
Yeah, so
or
you can't
evade.
So you can't guard cancel a backdash. You can evade. You can evade. But
you can evade after backdash?
Yeah, you can cancel and evade with a backdash.
Oh,
or a backdash with an evade. And vice versa.
Okay.
So here's the thing though. So like now here's the problem. When you backdash, watch what kind of hit happens. So go do the low punch and then backdash. Okay? Alright, keep doing it. Good. Good.
But if they know, then you'll get
So the problem
hit.
is that you're gonna get counter hit. If you get hit, you will get counter hit. And then there's even worse. So you see my sidekick? Sidekick is the punish for this. I can do half your life with this. So just try it. Keep trying again.
And I'd have to react to it.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Right. So this is risk. So it's backdash is good, but it's risky. But then you can learn backdash, evade, backdash. Right. So backdash, evade, backdash. Yeah. But backdash is if you get hit out of a backdash, generally you're in a bad spot and you could be totally screwed. Especially if I sidekick you out of the backdash.
Sidekick me out of the that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's really good, but you can't guard cancel it. You can attack cancel a backdash. So you can backdash into beat knuckle right away, right? So here's the thing. So backdash guard, let's practice backdash guard. Right? That's as soon as you can guard. That full backdash, then guard, right? Okay, now try forward dash and cancel the forward dash with guard as fast as possible.
It's much better.
Literally can do it like one frame, right?
Yeah, one frame in.
Right.
Yeah, that's better.
This is the best, yeah. And that's because this game is forward biased, right? You can do neutral guard on crouch dash also. Right? Everybody in this game can wave dash. Because it's crouch dash. And there's two methods to doing crouch dash. You can do down forward, neutral down forward. You can also do down forward, down forward. Which you can squiggle this. Are you on pad or stick?
I'm on stick.
Okay, so on stick, yeah. On the Japanese lever? Like Sanwa?
Yeah, I think it is Sanwa. It's the Hori Rap 4.
Okay, so you're using a Hayabusa. Okay. So you're probably using a Hayabusa lever. So hit the stick into the corner to down forward. And then slide the stick to down until you can feel that micro switch like unclick. And then slide it back into the corner. You can even do this. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's different now with Jackie. They're fine, but like with Leon, I can show you like so Leon has this move, 3-3 P plus K, and then he has 3 P plus K. But if I want to crouch dash and do 3 P plus K like that, I have to do 3T3 because if I do 3-3, I would get this, right? But instead I want to do this. And so there is a different use for crouch dashing by doing down forward, down forward, which is this, or down forward, neutral, down forward. Just it's up to the move list of your character.
It's up to the move list.
So it's just good to know that there are two methods for doing crouch dash. Technically, you can actually, if you want another weird one, let me see the rules real quick.
Ready, go!
No, this one is not so good. You can't do 3-6-3, but yeah, you can, but. You can do 3-6-3, but you gotta like hold the 3. It's got a weird timing to it. But I can't really, I gotta switch sides to do this. Yeah. So you can do 3-5-3, but the timing's so weird. Not 3-5-3, 3-6-3. You can actually do 3-6-3, but it's weird. I can only do it player 1 side. Player 2 side is so weird for me. It's got a weird timing to it. Don't even try it. Like, honestly, I never used that method, but it's possible. It's just weird. But 3-2-3, very easy. Right, if I squiggle the stick and not even go to neutral. Just 3-2-3, 2-3-2, 3-2-3. Right? And a lot of times when I buffer, I use this method. And that's why I'm really good at, like, I'm known for being good at this move with Leon. A lot of people, it take a lot of people a lot of practice to get good at this move. Like doing this from like an evade and crumple combo people, like really fast. But you can cancel evade with crouch dash. You can cancel evade with forward dash. You can do forward dash evade. Okay. Do you know how evades work in this game? I have a feeling you do not, but because I saw that you never used them, and I have a feeling that you've probably been burned trying to use evades in this game.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So let's.
Well, I mean, I've had success in this game, but that's only because I've never fought anybody good. Like my whole ranked spree that I was on when I did play, it was all just.
Well, and you don't need to evade to be effective in Virtua Fighter, but it is. It's another good defensive option.
I think I remember watching Juicebox. He said evades are for when you're being attacked.
Yes,
but
not just that. Do you know how they functionally work?
Different.
They are like you should use them.
No.
You should use them the way Dodge is using King of Fighters, or the way Pari is using Third Strike. Okay.
Yeah, as an actual defensive mechanic.
So your opponent needs to be already attacking. So let's establish a situation where the opponent's already attacking. Okay. By the time you do the evade.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
when you're minus.
Yes. So when you're minus, exactly. So like, let's put a situation where you're minus. You can do the low punch. You can block, do low punch and I block it, right? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, like that. Right? That was a successful evade. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. But now, when you're plus and you evade, it's going to fail, right? So, like, for example, like, let's say you hit me with the low punch. Do the same example. Low punch into the evade. Right?
Yeah.
Automatic fail. Right?
Yeah. Okay,
because you can't do it when you plus. So you can't, so doing it when you plus automatically makes the evade fail. Now, if you do a failed evade, you can cancel it with a dash or a crouch dash. But this is still throwing away a lot of frames, and this is still not the best position, right?
Yeah.
So generally, evade. You should be doing evade when you're minus, or if you're reacting because you see that they're already attacking you.
Yeah.
But if you evade before they attack you, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah. Okay. So that does make sense.
So the rule is that they need to already be attacking, and so the chances of that being higher is when you're minus. So as a beginner, you do it when you're minus. Later on, you start to kind of be able to kind of do it a little more reactively or in response to their attack, you know. But at at a beginner level, trying to do that is pretty hard. If you're not used to seeing all the attack animations yet and not knowing what to expect for their attack, then evading when there's a decent chance that they're not going to attack just means you're going to do a failed evade, and the failed evade is bad. So basically, if I hit you, for example, let's practice when I hit you, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Yep, see? This one won't work because elbow is 0 frames on normal hit.
Elbow 0 frames, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Is that for everybody?
That's a general stat that's more common than not.
Okay.
So usually it's like that. But why is elbow good? Because it's a mid and it's a fast mid.
Because it's a mid and it's a fast mid, yeah.
And because it is less punishable. It is okay, so you're Jackie, right? I'm gonna show you. Okay, do 6K on block. This is like my guard punishment.
-17.
Right now, another version is this. I'll show you the other punish. Right. So the other punish is this. This is pretty bad, but your 6K combo was actually more damage than that. Okay. So now I want you to do jab into 6K. Okay, keep doing that.
Wow. Oh, that's good.
Evade punish is the true punish for like launchers.
Wow.
Evade punish is when the risk of your launcher is bigger. So if your opponent, but if your, it only applies when your opponent's trying to evade you. But it's important to understand. When you're doing your 6K launcher, if your opponent is punishing you, that is rough, but it's not so bad, okay? Because they're almost even. Like, the amount of damage you do with your 6K is a little more than what they do block and punishing you. But it's when they evade, when they can really turn that risk way up high, like amp the risk up.
So the recovery frames are more on whiff as usual, but way more.
Yeah, because you're dealing with like you're wide open, your side, and they're attacking your side. And Virtua Fighter has a lot of special things on the side. A lot of characters will have like a side, like their sidekick on the side could like cause a crumple, but a lot of characters will have some kind of big combo against you there. Now some characters do have a good guard punish, so guard punish is still great. It's still great, but in gambling terms, this game, you want to make the assessment like, is my opponent winning this situation because I keep trying to do 6K, or am I winning the situation because I'm doing damage with 6K, but they're not doing nearly as much, and so far they haven't taken a round on a guard punish yet, and I'm not letting them do that. But if you're doing more damage than they are, then generally you keep doing that same situation. But if the situation turns around to where they're winning it more against you, that's when you lower it, right? Then you do it less.
Yeah.
And in this game, you want to kind of assess that a lot. You have a lot of options in this game. 6K is one of them. So now, when do you think might be the really good time to do 6K? It's like, we know a situation where the opponent is guessing something against us. So, do we want to do 6K when we think they're going to block?
I guess that would be it, but...
No, because there's guard punish.
No. I mean, it's still -17, so, like, I know you can be punished, but... Yeah, I don't know, coming from Tekken, this is wild. Like, a lot of it.
Okay, so in Tekken, like I said, you're gonna... Actually, in this game, you can still do the low punch backdash into 6K. It's still good. Try it.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So this is a good one, right? So this is because you're punishing them for whiffing, right? You're setting up the whiff and then you're punishing them. So this is the Tekken method. The Virtua Fighter method, though, is... Okay, so, like, let's spar. Right? Good.
Okay.
Let's keep sparring, Now here's the thing. I'm going to establish this pattern. I'm going to elbow you and I'm going to throw you.
I ducked, but I
Yeah. No, well, so I'm gonna go into that. The elbow is making it so you cannot duck the throw, by the way.
Oh, that's why that keeps happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is another reason why the elbow is really good. Elbow is making it so you cannot duck the throw. So you got two options. You throw escape. What do you get if you throw escape? You just neutralize. You don't get any damage. You may get an advantage, but you won't get anything else. So, if this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing elbow throw, so if I'm doing elbow throw, now I want you to think really hard how you punish me for doing throw. Alright, this worked out, but because you had advantage, right?
Yeah.
But now you just punched it with the low punch. How do you punish it bigger? I'm telling you right now, I'm doing elbow throw against you. So
I'm just trying different options,
So here's the answer. You 6K me. You 6K me the moment you think I'm gonna throw.
Really? Yeah, we did practice that, but I was thinking that's fast.
So it is. So right now,
fast.
So right now I'm establishing that I'm going to be doing this when I hit you with the elbow. Okay.
Okay.
Let's spar.
So
I'm just telling you. I'm putting this. I'm telling you that this is not how you fight everybody.
Oh, okay.
Virtua Fighter, you have to fight your opponent, not the game. You got to fight your opponent. So what is his pattern? Right now I'm telling you the pattern for this set. Right now I am going to throw you if I hit you with elbow.
Okay.
Now if you guard it, if you guard the elbow, that's not going to happen, right? Right?
Oh.
So just keep focusing. There you go. But see, you only got a low punch out of that, right? So this is very scary. But that's okay. It's the risk. I'm getting you comfortable with the risk.
I'm trying to react to either getting hit or not getting hit.
But if you want a fun experiment, you let me normal hit you with the elbow, and then you throw me. You shouldn't do that, but I actually do that sometimes. Sometimes I will put myself in danger on purpose because I know what they want to do, and I will punish that option.
Oh, I tried there. I pressed P by accident.
Yep. No problem. It's a very scary thing. I'm just training you. This will probably take you like 10 games to do, but don't worry. You're gonna find the fun of this. Look at that. See? That was beautiful. Once you master your combos, that's like half my life gone. Especially against Leon. Jackie can do insane damage against Leon, so look at that, see? Now again, this is obviously I can always defend what you're doing. But this is like, I'm trying to teach you that the Virtua Fighter is about finding these moments where your opponent's play pattern is the thing you're attacking. You're not attacking like, oh, I'm waiting for a guaranteed damage. You're waiting for a guaranteed situation. Like, what does this guy keep doing?
Okay.
Now, tomorrow, I'm probably not going to throw after every elbow. But to be honest, I do it quite a bit. So, you know.
And it works, right? So.
Well, it works a lot because a lot of people are just, because I'm going to assess when I play you. Are you going to guard after this? Are you going to sidestep? And here's the thing about Virtua Fighter. Throwing beats sidestep and guard.
It beats, both, yeah.
It beats defense. The throwing is the paper, rock, scissors answer to defense. Okay? So I'm going to be doing this like a lot. You fight however you want. But just understand that one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to throw you anytime I hit you with the elbow. Alright? But you fight however you like. But I've just told you, like, this is a good place for an opponent like me to get yourself. Okay. So my biggest advice I give for VF, actually, is to learn how to get numb. So that you can just, don't even care when someone hits you. Don't react, don't get upset, don't get anxious. Learn how to be very calm and very numb even when people hit you. Yeah. It will make you stronger at Virtua Fighter, and it will make you stronger at every other fighting game also. See, so that low punch worked. It's a very low reward, but it worked, right? But like I said, the best reward is going to be a 6K. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wrong move.
So this is scary. It's still hard. I'm playing hard on you. But what I am showing you is, look, I am going to show you what it's like when you fight an opponent that's always going to be doing the throw, like after he hits you with an elbow or tries to, you know? Very good. And it's hard. It's hard. But this is what makes VF very thrilling, once you get used to this. Very good. And that jab elbow got you there because, like, got it for you because I tried to low punch you.
Yeah.
That was a good reaction, by the way. It was a different move. It's a move that looks like the one that was punishable.
Yeah, the one that we were practicing. That's why I did that.
No, but that was really awesome. That showed me. It showed me a lot of your your subconscious speed. Like it showed me that you had internalized that. It's really good. It was just like, yeah, it's a different move, and that's okay. But it was but basically it was the right thing. I was pretty impressed that you remembered. So.
Thanks. I try.
So. How is this feeling right now? I know it's kind of weird, but
it's okay actually. I'm still getting it. I feel
you're doing great. You're doing great.
tried to crouch dash.
Excellent. Round 2.
Now here's the thing again, you're gonna have to guess back for. Okay, the other exercise today, I'm gonna be doing throw escapes to the backside. Okay, back or forward, not neutral today. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're gonna escape either forward or back, you can pick one until you feel comfortable. But you know, and then the other trick is to try not to just hold guard just because you're trying to do throw escape, right? The downside when learning how to do throw escape is a lot of people end up just guarding forever, right? But right now you're playing with a good amount. You're playing with way more activity than you did earlier. You kind of understand VF is an active game.
Yeah, very active game. I'm trying to adjust to the speed. It's actually a lot faster than Tekken.
Yeah, well, and that's what happens when I teach people about VF, right? And I to a lot of the Tekken players, that's actually like their first impression is that VF is sluggish, it's kind of slow, right?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It feels like for most people, but that's just not the case.
Yep. So then what happens is I tell like after I teach them the basic stuff, like what happens with the backdash and like evading, like how that works. Once I teach them the basic mechanics, right, and then how to buffer, right, then I do this drill where we're fighting, but I'm only using jab, elbow, throw. But I tell them they can do whatever they want. They can beat me up, right? And then they're just basically, that's when they tell me that this game is really fast, right? Because they realize the speed that VF is actually being played at. It's the decision speed, right? It's the fact that I came at you and threw you right away, right? I realized that you slowed down, so I'm like, okay. He's like, he doesn't know what the situation is. I'm gonna go in and throw him.
Yeah, it's being ready for every situation.
Yeah. So it's something that you just build over time, but this is the big difference, and getting people to kind of feel this hard. Now, the hard part too is that right now I'm setting the pace, I'm dictating the pace. The hard part is when you're a beginner, you can fight fast when people force you to fight fast. Then the hard part is when you fight other beginners and you're like, why does it feel so slow? You know, and the problem is and what did I say earlier? Did I say that the answer that works against me is going to work against others?
No.
No, right? Who do you fight? You fight your opponent.
You fight your opponent, not the game.
Yeah. So it's not like I mean, there is an aspect of outplaying, but the outplaying is it's a paper rock scissor outplaying. It's not a like there's only two options here playing. You know, there's a lot of options, but these are really good options, and these will really hurt the other guy. Like these will really cut the other guy off. So you're starting to feel why mids are good. Like you're starting to see if I do a mid, it just stops him if he doesn't, if he's not accounting for it. All right, so now I'm gonna step it up a bit. I'm gonna show you a little more stuff. But we're fighting. Just fight however you like. Right now I am playing without thinking much. I'm just letting my eyes relax and react. So. But you're finding out you're using Okizeme really well. You're like, man, he's aggressive because he's showing me this point. So now I can just use that situation as a big advantage, and you attacked right. Your Okizeme got better. So keep it up. Very good. You're picking really good attacks that lock somebody down. Very good. And now I beat the sidestep with the throw, right? And I'm like, oh, he's trying to sidestep now. Very good. You got the advantage on me. I pre-buffered elbow, so I got screwed for that. So that was really good. And now I'm showing you how scary it is when there's jab throw, right? So.
Yeah.
Very good. You're mixing up your throws now. So Keep it up. I think you've got there's a lot to work with. I gave you a lot of info, and so, but you seem to understand it. So.
Oh.
Very good. Excellent. Very good. Good game. Alright, here we go.
It's like you're moving in slow motion.
Your flow is very good now, and you're using good mix of variety of the moves you know. A lot of different mids that you're squeezing into spaces so that attack cannot be used against you. Very good. Alright. Gonna step this up even more.
Ready, go!
Very good.
Crouch dashed right into it.
Well, this one was more like you attacked into it. I think you crouch dodged and then you hit a button of some kind because it was a counter hit. So now I'm like calling out whether you're doing something frame tight on your attack. So yeah. And if you're not, my jab will hit you if you're standing. So if you're doing something that's too slow for the situation, this jab is getting you out of it.
Ready, go!
And it's like scary that you can't duck if I elbow you first, right? So.
Excellent!
Oh, he sidestepped.
Yep. So there's the sidestep, right? So you blocked my low punch. I'm -5. I buffer and evade, so your low punch got evaded.
Yeah. It got evaded, and it left me open because I.
Now that
I'm
said,
not sure
actually,
why
when
I
your
thought
low
it hit.
punch is evaded, it doesn't leave you that open. So you probably could have blocked. Just to let you know.
But for some reason, I didn't react and just opted to launch anyways.
Yeah. Very good.
Oh,
So now I'm throwing you when you're -6 or -7 after I block this. So you can still attack if you don't want to throw,
I
but
can
it's
still
risky.
attack, yeah.
But you can also practice guard throw escape too. Guard throw escape is just the lower risk option, which is really good. So mastering guard throw escape is really important for you. And then, but knowing which throw it is can be tricky. But there's only one neutral throw, and so after that, then it's like, you know, either it's forward or back. And if you did the forward throw escape and the other throw worked, maybe it was back that was the correct throw, right? And that just means that that's how you can learn what each throw is.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Very good. Very good. Good choice. Very good.
Round 4. Ready, go!
I tried to down jab.
Round 5. Ready, go!
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I got too comfortable pressing and blocking.
Yeah. So that's why that throw totally makes you feel insecure about blocking, right? So working on the guard throw escape is going to be fundamental. You can always do that no matter who you fight, the AI or humans. Still works.
Yeah, I might as well try to like fight the AI holding guard escape.
Yeah,
Like,
so
just
with the AI,
pre-practice.
you do want to practice being very active, learning how to set up damage and do high damage options, but then also making sure that if you decide that you're going to guard, you should have a throw escape, right? And hopefully the correct one. And if you don't know the throw escape, just try to figure out what that throw was. So there is a way to learn it by deduction, you know. But you're following along very well. So the magic numbers, when you're at a small disadvantage, you can fuzzy guard, but when you're at a large disadvantage, you cannot. So -5 is the cutoff point. You can fuzzy guard at -5 or anything less dangerous than that, so -1 to -5. But once you're -6 or worse, you cannot duck a throw. So that means that like guard throw escape, evade throw escape, or attacking are kind of your really strong options. There are other options too, but you become a bit more restricted when you're at a bigger disadvantage.
Ready, go!
Very good. Nice. Now in this case, throw was actually guaranteed because there's also attacks that are guaranteed. Yeah, that was a block punishable.
So you can't break those.
You can escape throws when the throw's guaranteed. You just can't like attack to beat it, right?
Oh,
So you can always escape throws. The best way to think about a throw escape is when you do a throw escape and if you escape an opponent's throw, they still correctly, successfully threw you, but you escaped it.
Take me seriously.
Oh yeah, you didn't evade the throw with crouch dash or just dash.
Yeah.
Not dash, crouch.
Go!
Right. So like for example, okay. So common situation, you block. I'm gonna elbow and you do throw right away. Right. This is a fuzzy guard.
Yeah,
and then
that's a
same
fuzzy
thing.
guard, yeah,
You do elbow right away.
Oh wait. Yeah, I do remember you putting me through these,
Yeah.
and I tested them on the computer dummy, but I didn't, do it forever.
Right. This is just fuzzy guard, and it's just a basic technique, right? There is another one. So like if you do jab throw, right? Jab elbow. This is a fuzzy
Oh yeah,
guard.
that takes some training.
This one is really hard to do in matches, so I don't teach this one. But this is like a hard one to do in matches until you get used to seeing people jabbing. Until you're like mentally prepared that they might jab, or like these.
Because when you're blocking, you're probably also holding.
So it's
P, right?
Yeah, because what it is you're -2, and at -2 you can like press down and guard, and the moment that your character would like crouch, like you go back to neutral guard.
So technically, it's always hold 2 buttons when you're guarding. That's kind of like what I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
And a direction, of course.
But yeah, so guard throw escape. But you should definitely master guard throw escape. The reason you want to master guard throw escape, if you don't master doing that, then your opponent, then anytime that you're guarding and your opponent calls it out by throwing, right? Then they just get it if you're not escaping the throw, unless you're attacking, right? But if you're doing guard throw escape, then your defense can actually make it kind of hard for them to try to throw you if you're good at guessing which throw escape it is, right?
Yeah.
But you also don't have to think of it as that you have to guess. You can also just simply deny the strongest one, but that works better on some characters than others. Leon has a pretty balanced throw game. So on forward throw, I have this, right? And I can combo it in a number of ways. This is not even the best combo. But he also has half circle back throw. Does a decent amount of damage too. So his throw game is pretty balanced by that. All of the directions are like the forward and the back throws are very decent for him.
Very strong, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But, and so, sometimes an opponent, again, I'm going to frame this in a way as a gotcha, okay? So you're fighting Kage, and Kage is so scary because Kage can ring you out with a throw from almost anywhere in the ring, okay? And so Kage,
is it that
and
high throw?
it is, yeah, the 10-foot toss, which is, to escape it is forward and throw escape, okay? So 6p plus G is the escape. So you know that Kage is always setting you up. So he's always doing he'll jab you twice and then do a 10-foot toss combo. Jab foot twice, 10-foot toss combo. So how do you avoid that?
You E plus G forward?
Yep.
Or forward?
So that is one answer.
6p plus G?
That's one answer. And yes, you want to master that because you want to master throw escape guard. But ultimately, the competitive answer is you launch him when he jabs you twice. After he jabs you twice, you know? I'm not saying saying that's what you do against every Kage. I'm saying you have a read on your opponent's Kage, and they're doing this pattern. It's always said they're always trying to throw after they do A throw, right? B throw, A B throw. Okay, let's say this one does AA throw. So what you do is, whenever AA happens, you launch him. You know, because the answer to throw is not the throw escape. The answer to low is to do a combo against him, punish him, make him afraid to throw you, right? But before that, where you are at now, you must master guard throw escape because you need to make your guarding effective against throws. And so I know I'm making this confusing, but I'm just saying the core of DF is the paper rock scissors game.
Yeah, it's real.
And you have to really pull it back into paper rock scissors if you want the best answers. Now, if you want I'm going to just frustrate my opponent answer, then yes, be very good at guard throw escape. Be good at reading their throw habits or which throws they do or don't do. And to simplify that process, what I would say is that to simplify that process, it's not just staring at the throw. It's just more of you can take the decision out of it and just say, you know what? I'm not going to play the guessing game. I am going to deny. No Kage will ever 10-foot toss me. If I do a throw escape, I'll always do forward throw escape against Kage because I will not be wrung out by that. And that's a good strategy. And that requires no brain power. It requires the brain power to execute the guard throw escape forward.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you fight Kage, you just say, you know what, I'll just take the neutral, I'll take the back throw if he wants to do that, but I'm not going to let him ring me out.
Okay.
And so sometimes when you fight John and you fight Brad, their strongest throw directions is forward. So you can just deny forward, and a lot of Brad and John players are resigned to just doing their second best throw, to doing their back throw.
Doing their back throw.
And actually a lot of Brads use neutral. But the reason is because you're not if you cut them off of strong options, that is a powerful play, even without hitting them yet. So if you know that they always like to do the high damage throw, simply denying, if there's an imbalance, if forward is definitely better than back for them, then denying them the forward throw is really powerful. That's basic strategy. In Tekken, you play in a way that you don't... In Tekken, why do you not overuse... beginners use a lot of launches. But as you move up,
You don't use launchers that
You
much.
you wait
yeah.
for a mistake and you wait for the sure thing and you punish with that.
Yeah.
The guessing game is strong, but it is risky, right? So it's up to you as a
Very
player.
risky.
But this is a game where sometimes you gotta guess, sometimes you can react. In Virtua Fighter, the reactive player and the guesser can both play this game. That's what I like about VF. They both can. And sometimes I'll just be, okay, they're reacting better than me, so I'm going to play in a way that they have to guess. Because if I think I'm better at guessing than them, I'm going to force them to guess. And that's what Virtua Fighter does quite well, too. And there are ways to cut off the guessing. So ways to cut off the guessing, like I said, just deny the best throw. There's no guessing there. There's only 3 directions, and neutral is usually the weakest. So, yeah. So let them settle for the second best throw, right? That's an option. But you need to be able to do guard throw escape regularly. So you should do guard throw escape whenever you whiff, whenever you're in trouble. There should be a guard throw escape done because you're guarding and you're throw escaping. You've got 2 good defenses in one. You're cutting off a lot of throws by doing a throw escape, and you're also guarding against a lot of mids and high attacks. So it's a no-brainer that much of the time you should do a guard throw escape. But don't forget, this is a paper rock scissors game. And if your opponent just keeps throwing in the same spot all the time, if you can predict when they're gonna throw, then with high confidence, you're 90% certain, 90% chance he's gonna throw here. Going for the launch is a really powerful play.
Very powerful play, yeah. Guaranteed damage there.
So don't forget. So the hard part is when you're learning a lot of other games, there's a lot of oppressive plays, and you have to play around them. In Street Fighter, you got to deal with Ryu doing Fireball Trap, right? Fireball, Dragon Punch. Dive kick characters, you got to understand the spacing against them. Fireball Trap, you got to understand that sometimes just stepping forward and then jumping over a fireball that comes can be a better way to approach, right?
Yeah.
You have no choice. You just kind of have to do this, right?
Yeah, you have to do this tech. Yeah, otherwise you just lose. Yeah.
Virtua Fighter can be intimidating because some of the best practices are less obvious. But I'll tell you the best practices, really good practices. If you have frame advantage, in theory, your attacks are better than your opponent's attacks. In theory, because you have frame advantage, right? If I'm +5, I can do a launcher versus your jab. Okay.
Yeah.
So, understanding that frame advantage is all playing according to frames is a good way to make sure that your attack, that if you guys do attack versus attack, that most of the time your attack will win. And then you can worry about the other paper rock scissors. So what's the other part of paper rock scissors? If I hit my opponent and I have advantage, I should be thinking, are they going to attack me or are they going to throw me? Attack me or defend me. Sorry. Are they going to defend, which is the default, or are they going to attack, which is they think I'm going to throw or they think they can crush my attack, right? But but I don't think they're going to throw. Why? Because throwing is really bad when you're minus. Because the person that has the advantage should be attacking most of the time. And so attacking just flat out beats throw, and attacking beats attack. So if I play frame tight, my opponent needs to defend a lot. Needs to defend whenever I'm plus.
Yeah, whenever you're plus.
Okay?
Yeah.
So then it becomes, well, what's the quality of their defense? But really, do I think they're going to attack or do I think they're going to defend? And the answer is not, oh, they're going to defend. The answer is what I actually think. The way they've been playing this whole round, what do they like to do? And that should give me my answer. It's not a solid answer, right? Street Fighter is a little more solid answer until, well, not Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6, there's a lot of neutral play that's more complicated because of the new mechanics. Yeah. Right? But in old school, it's pretty simple, right? In old school, it's oh, he's going to jump here. That was dumb, but I know how to beat it. Right? So when you play Street Fighter, you're doing a lot of oppressive plays. You're locking your opponent down. King of Fighters, you're actually doing a lot of oppressive plays. You just know that, okay, I gotta put, like, if this guy is really good at doing anti-air on reaction, then I gotta play around it, right? So King of Fighters, there's a very strong set playing King of Fighters.
Yeah.
In Virtua Fighter, again, you're fighting your opponent more than you're fighting, but you use the system knowledge to do it. So playing frame tight's good. Simple principle of play is that where it's allowed, when I have frame advantage, a mid attack is usually going to be better than a high or a low. But there are other reasons I do those other things. Depends on what I think they're, like, it depends on how detailed I think they're going to be, but in general, doing a mid is good because it can crush, right? Even if I have like a big frame advantage and I do low punch, I can get blown up by an attack, by a hop attack.
Yeah.
But my elbow will not get blown up that way. It will get blown up by backdash, but it will not get blown up by attack. And backdash is just another defensive option. So, sorry, this gets more and more confusing because it's better to chart this out. But I think when I illustrated, I showed you. But you understood.
It's good. I understand most of it, actually. It's just now understanding it and then being able to put it into play. I just wanted to understand it more, so at least I know where I'm going and I don't feel like I'm just here.
Yep.
You know?
So I will have to go, but okay. So here's the gist of what to work, like what we improved on today, and it shows. It shows if you watch this VOD. Number one, you were not buffering when we started playing. You were guarding and waiting. You were waiting for something really... What happened was you were waiting for like a big thing to punish, and it never came.
It never came,
And then on top of that... So then when you realize it's not going to come, you decide to attack and I counter-hit you. That's what happened when we started playing. And that's why you want to learn how to buffer. Now, there's many... So to extend that, the extra homework... Why should you buffer? You should buffer because when you buffer, you will play the game frame appropriate. But also, when you buffer, you're gonna put pressure on your opponent to come up with a way to deal with your counterattack. So when you block something good, when you block, you should be attacking black most of the time, except for high jab. And you were doing a good job of. You did a great job of this. You did a great job of stay defending in some form or another when you blocked my high jab, and then you attacked back or through after blocking something else, and that's a really good rule of thumb. When we started playing, you didn't do any throw escapes, so I wasn't sure if you were guessing wrong or you weren't doing throw escapes. So we clarified, and I reminded you how the throw escape works in this particular game. But I also will remind you that it did seem you were confused a little bit because I think you do study a lot of games, including a lot of Virtua Fighter games. So you realize Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown and Ultimate Showdown changed the throw escape system.
Yeah.
But they simplified it in a way, but I actually think it's a bit better. I like this new I can do the old system. I can do 3 throw escapes in the old system while doing like an evade and while doing other stuff.
Yeah.
But so I can do the option selects, the really difficult things to do. But I like this system more because I think in this game we fight up close a lot more than we did in the other ones. In the other ones, what happens is we'll attack, and I need to do a throw escape in that moment because I'm vulnerable to throw. But also combine it with my defense, and then after that we break apart. Why do we break apart? Because the longer we stay close to each other in the old games, the more likely that either throw or a delayed launcher is going to kill us. So we got to get out of the threat zone. So we go in, we go out in that game. In like Virtua Fighter 4 series, it's a lot of we go in, we go out. We go in, we go out. This game, I can fight up close to you all day long if I want to.
Because of this,
Because of this system, because now I can keep guarding. And I can still keep defending against a throw if I need to, even with the uncertainty. You know what I mean? Like my defenses are a little better now, and I have the tools to keep up fighting up close.
Okay.
Whereas in the other games, actually, delay throw became strong because if you did the throw escape, well, it's done. But it's not just that; it's just that was the throw vulnerability, like for that moment. But any longer that we stay up close, we're more vulnerable to like, oh, he might have thrown late and then he gets me. Because in that game, you have to input throw escapes. Like you gotta react, like not react, but you gotta tap them. This game, you get to hold the throw escape all around. I can make it so Kage can never do a 10-foot toss against me. You know, or never.
That is a bit more of a mind game.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. When we started the session, those were the main things, was that you needed to buffer. Now later on, you may wonder, hey, when you buffer evade, your opponent will have more access to evade. That's true. When you buffer your evading will also get better. But evading becomes another element. So then later on, delays will come into play. But what you need to do is you need to be able to buffer before you can get good at delaying. If you're running away from doing the buffer, there is a way to buffer delays. But if you run away from using the buffer in this game, your attacks will mostly be weaker than your opponent's attacks. Because you'll be doing them late.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you're more vulnerable to evade, that's true. But we can make up for that with technique. But so the evade system should not be a reason to not learn how to buffer. Learn to buffer first. It is super important, and you want your attacks to be at their best. And when you do not buffer, your attacks will be technically at weaker. Because now your opponent might be able to counter hit you when normally they should not have. So, it's important to understand that. Learn how to buffer. Get used to that. Practice guard throw escape. If you want, like for a week or so, just escape forward. And then the next week you're like, you know what? The next week you're like, I'm going to escape back the next week. And then after that, you're going to consciously decide when you do forward, when you do back. And maybe even when you do neutral. What I would say is a good time to do neutral throw escape is when their neutral throw can kill you, can win the round.
Yeah.
That's when it's a good time to do neutral throw escape. Almost every other time, forward or back is better usually. Unless unless this guy just always does neutral, then by all means just keep escaping neutral. But you know what? If their throw is predictable, launch the throw. But that's more of a Yomi mindset. Right now, it's sharpening your mechanics. Your mechanics are good. When we did the sparring, your mechanics were very good. You were buffering. You definitely know how to buffer. You just needed reminding that, hey, you need to buffer. But
I needed a reminder. I had forgotten.
Yep.
But also, it's something I didn't practice.
Yeah.
So it's something I have to practice at least a few times. Like some games do just require that mechanical practice. Like KBDing didn't come from me playing ranked.
Yeah.
I learned how to do that because I just kept practicing it. So I feel like it's the same.
Yep.
The only difference is there's so much more in this game that you have to train than in other games. Like in other games, I find it's, here's the 1, here's the 2. Now you're good. Now you can go learn matchups, big combos, set play oki, everything.
Because in other games you can oppress people into that. In this game you can oppress, but it starts with buffering. Here's the thing: when you buffer, it's easier to understand what the hell happened, and it's easier to see if something bullshit happened. It's much easier if you're buffering. If you're not buffering, a lot of people think they know what happened. And then I watch the video and it's just like, you were just slow. So almost didn't matter what you did. Being slow, you're going to get counter hit. You know? But if you buffer, at least I can say, hey, okay, that is peculiar. Let's study what happened there, you know? So it's not that you can only buffer, but you should buffer. You should buffer it a lot. Master the buffer, and then it's easier to step forward. And then again, where you can use a mid attack, generally a mid attack is going to give you a more solid result, and it's going to lock your opponent. It's going to restrict. Like if you want to know the way to oppress an opponent, use your mids where they are frame appropriate. That's one way to oppress your opponent, because now you're forcing them to guard, or to do like a reversal, what Street Fighter players call counters, right? Or you're forcing them to evade. But at least you're forcing them to do those things, and you're saying, you know what? Most of your attacks are going to suck because I'm frame appropriate and I'm using a mid here. So you can't hop this. You can't duck this. You got to do some other honest answer to this. That's how you
react to that.
Yeah, and then you can react to that. And when you start seeing them do something like basic pokes a lot, then backdash becomes really good. But that's the third lesson today. What are the risks of backdash? You can't block. You'll get counter hit, and you could lose half your life.
Yeah.
But your opponent has to.
Another option though, so it's all of them. None of them are safe realistically.
Yep. Well, we showed like with Jackie. What can Jackie do with a backdash? With a good backdash?
He can do the knuckle move. Is that what it's
called? He can do the beat knuckle. He can do 6K.
Beat knuckle?
If he backdashes the right things, oh my god. So, you know.
Yeah, but that's more so a read than a react,
so,
I find, right?
Yeah, so here's the trick. Okay, so I taught you about buffering, and I showed you how good jab, elbow, and throw is, right? Well, here's the thing. You get to oppress your opponent by seeing if they can do it back. When you fight this way, you are forcing them to kind of fight with the basic pokes and throws, right? And once they're doing that, suddenly backdash becomes a stronger option. So it's like there's a magnetic force to it. If you get good at boxing, if you get good at up close boxing, jab, elbow, throw, right? If you get good at that, there is an effect where after a while, when you get really good at that, you start seeing your opponent having to do that too. That they're having to fight back at you. The only way they can fight back at you is by poking you back, trying to throw, do the same game, right? But if you get them to that point where you're getting them to feel like they have to do that, your backdash becomes strong because now backdash into beat knuckle will beat the jab or the elbow or the throw at the right spacing. And so what I'm saying is that all these different games lead into different other games. And so that's what, like, and that part is kind of like Tekken as well, right? Like in Tekken, you start learning how to do sidestepping in Tekken because it gets you out of situations that are really annoying. Like this guy is really trying to force like high speed versus mid and maybe a low. But if I do this sidestep guard, like I defeat all of that, right? So then now he's got to beat the sidestep guard. That happens in VF too. It just happens a little differently. But anyhow, work on the buffer. Keep on that. Like keep doing bufferable options and maximize how good you are with that. We can work on the rest later, and then and keep working on guard thrust escape. Those are the main ones. Yeah.
So buffer, throw escape, and.
Yeah, but if you want, go ahead and against the AI too. Go ahead and have fun doing backdash, beat knuckle backdash, 6K. Yes, you can get blown up big time for it, but I think you're gonna have fun doing that, and I think you're gonna find it's a fun way to do pretty big damage with Jackie.
Okay. So I'll do that then.
The other tool, there's one other tool. When you get good at buffering, Jackie's uppercut's really good. So practice crouch dash into 3P, and then also low punch into 3P. And if you want to test out the timing against the AI, like to figure out the timing of doing a low punch into uppercut, that is something you can do as a for like the option select, where if you get used to the timing, there is a way to do that so that when the low punch hits, you'll get the uppercut, and when it doesn't, when it's guarded it won't come out. But that's a side project. I'm just saying, practice the uppercut. It's a fun one. Practice the uppercut for fun. Uppercut, backdash, beat knuckle. Beat knuckle also, when you block a low punch, beat knuckle is pretty fun. Elbow is the first standard answer, but beat knuckle is a really good one if you're sharp enough.
One, yeah. If you're sure that they're gonna let up.
Yeah. So so have fun with that, and yeah, I gotta go pick up my son, so I'll catch you later.
Worry.
And thanks a lot for your patience with this. I know I was kind of all over the place today, but that's because you had a lot of good experience, and actually there was a lot of stuff that seemed like you really followed really well. So I was like, okay, let's go to the next So I think I apologize to viewers that might get confused with how all over the place I am on the lecture today, but that's because I'm trying to work with what I observe and hear when working with you. So yeah.
No worries.
But it does seem like you actually do get a lot of it, actually way more than you let on. But you're also processing. But but your sharpness is good. You already know how to buffer. You just weren't doing it. So I'm just gonna say outright, you know how to buffer. You are doing it correctly already. It was just more that you just needed reminding to do it. That's all.
Yeah.
And then needed me to explain, this is how you play this game. You know, it was more like that. Because when we were playing it, you were playing it like Street Fighter. Like, okay, I block. But actually, like I said, when we started, you were waiting for like Street Fighter mistakes. You were waiting for like Tekken mistakes, and it's like, they're not coming. You know?
Like, I just started getting thrown, and
so it's like, and so I was trying to respond and see how you respond. I was like, he's not attacking back. Okay, well, here, I'll show you how I deal with that. You know, so.
Yeah.
But you did fantastic in the when we were doing like more of the reflex tests later sets. So.
Thanks.
All right, I'll catch you later. We'll spar again soon.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Take it easy.
All right, I gotta go pick up my son. Everyone, thank you so much. I know that's a bit all over the place, but he really knows a lot and he understands a lot. He just needed that quick guidance. Cheers.